You're listening to Music Tectonics.
Welcome back to Music Tectonics, where we go beneath the surface of music and tech. I'm your host, Dmitri. I'm also the founder and CEO of Rock, Paper, Scissors, the marketing and PR firm that specializes in music innovation. Welcome to the Pack Your Bags episode. Come on, sucker, we're going to Tectonics. For this episode, our marketing director, Eleanor Rust, turned the tables on me to talk about the Music Tectonics conference coming up next week from November 4th through 6th in Santa Monica. Whether you're packing your bags to come to Santa Monica or you're about to hit that buy button for a badge, this is where we give you the audio lowdown on what to expect. It might also be called the FOMO episode for all you wiffle wafflers who love all the content we work hard to bring you every week, but are not ready to invest in your music innovation career yet. Goals to reach. So if you've been curious about Music Tectonics, or you're on the fence about going next week, there's still time, or you're planning on going and love to get the full itinerary beforehand, this episode is for you.
Meet the finalists in 2025's Swimming with Narwhals pitch competition. These up-and-coming startups span a broad range of music-related tech. Music League. Discover new music, share your favorites, and compete against your friends. Plates. Music marketing for the 21st century. Roxem. Learn a new language with music by playing interactive games in Spanish, French, Chinese, and German. Sesh. A fan engagement platform that empowers artists to connect with their audience. When you come to the Music Tectonics Conference in Santa Monica, November 4th, 5th, and 6th, you'll meet the finalists, watch their final pitches, and vote for the audience choice winner. So get your ticket at musictectonics.com.
Now for our feature interview.
Welcome back to Music Tectonics, where we go beneath the surface of music and tech. I'm Eleanor Rust, the marketing director at Rock, Paper, Scissors, and today I have stolen the mic and I am turning the tables on your usual host, Dmitri. He's been talking about the Music Tectonics conference nonstop, and I think you need to hear what he has to say. So it's finally here. We've been planning for a year. We are gathering 750 music innovators, founders, labels, execs, investors. I'm sure I'm missing some important group. All right, so the conference is November 4th to 6th. You can still get badges at musictectonics.com. All right, welcome back to your own show, Dmitri.
Hi, Eleanor.
Was that showman-like enough? Did you like that? I'm trying to bring the Dmitri energy.
Yeah, you're the ringleader.
That's right. All right. So imagine you've never been to Music Tectonics. How, Dmitri, would you describe it to somebody who hasn't been there?
I mean, I would say it's somewhere between a carnival, a conference, and a party on the beach. But when you get down to it, it's the perfect blend of a fun experience with a business mindset. And we always get feedback that people find it as to be like a receptive community. We bring together the entire ecosystem around music. So you've got founders, labels, and industry execs, investors, managers, the musical instrument brands, and pretty much everyone that's in music innovation. So there's definitely like, I don't know, maybe it's like a dessert where like on the outside is this carnival vibe of the carousel at the beginning. And at the end, we have this startup boot camp with Universal Music Group and this founders funders event with Yamaha. But in the middle is a conference with panels, with parties, with networking. We have a lot of outside indoor venues. So like it feels like you're really out on the beach, really out in the open and checking out everything LA has to offer.
Awesome. So why did you start this conference/carnival/party?
Well, I mean, the carnival and party part of it, I guess we can get to, but the conference itself, I started because in my work, both at Rock, Paper, Scissors and with my music tech startup, I found that getting together with people at conferences has been the biggest driver of revenue, of sales, of partnerships, et cetera. And there just wasn't anything on the West Coast that focused on bringing everything together in one place. You know, I love conferences like South by Southwest and Music Biz and Indie Week. Each of them have their own flavor, but nothing was specifically focused on music tech. So at the same time that we're trying to bring the whole ecosystem together, I wanted to create that destination for everybody that's focused on music innovation. It's been good for me, and I want it to be good for other people too.
I can't wait to meet in LA. I just have to say that.
I mean, every time you go and people who come for the first time, they're just like looking around and like, where am I? This is like some idyllic. Santa Monica is just such a beautiful place. And the venues that we use are just this nice balance of super functional and not too far off the beaten path and just beautiful.
Yeah.
Just the breeze from the ocean. You can see the ocean, you can hear the ocean, you can feel the fresh air. It's pretty fun.
Speaking of the venues, each day has a different flavor as we move from venue to venue. So let's talk about the first day. It's Tuesday, November 4th. That's just days away.
What are we doing recording a podcast?
I know. All right. So it has a dual focus, and I want to hear about both sides.
Right. Yeah. So Tuesday is at the Carousel at the Santa Monica Pier. If you've never been to the pier, it's this iconic, historic, nostalgic, retro, ridiculous venue. You walk up to it. If you come up at night, you see the Ferris wheel is spinning with all the lights, and you smell the popcorn and the elephant ears type stuff. And there's an arcade there, etc. We take over the whole carousel, and we're doing two things there. One, something we've done every year is we have our startups all around the carousel, literally demoing their new products. It can be apps, it can be platforms, it can be gear, etc. We've had everything from vibrating chairs to guitar teaching iPads to all sorts of really cool stuff. But this year, we've moved our creator fair to be at the same day to contribute even more to that carnival feel. And so we have all sorts of musical instrument brands coming there. They're doing demos. Some are on stage. We have creator talks. A lot of social media creators are coming to the creator fair. That's kind of the point of it. So you get this weird mix of a blend of the music industry and creators all together, which is pretty cool. So that's kind of the vibe there.
So how much of that first day with the creator fair and with, conferencey stuff, how much of that is programming and how much is exhibits?
So we only have one stage on that first day. So a lot of it is walking around and engaging with stuff. But on that stage, we have one very conferencey fireside chat that I'm doing with Tatiana Sirasano from Media Research, focused on where is streaming going? What do streaming services and record labels need to be thinking about to address a new generation of listeners? So that's going to be super fun. We kick off with that, and then we switch into the creator fair stuff. So we have Shure Microphone doing demos. We have BlipBlox, the only safety-rated synth for children. We have Eternal Research bringing Demon Box. We even have Kevin Bruner from BandLab is going to do a confession booth session where everybody all day long is going to have a chance to talk about embarrassing moments or just things they learned along the way of being a creator, and is going to come up on stage and read some of those.
Awesome. I know that Pioneer DJ is also going to be there. I think they're going to do a showcase on stage. I'm excited about that.
And actually, a lot of these companies are going to be doing giveaways as well. So there's a lot of really cool product that people can get. They can try it out and they might win something as well. There's a couple other companies. There's a new instrument called Musical Beings, which is an interesting beat and music sequencer that's made out of wood. We have Buchla is going to be there, the famous synth company Modbap. We even have a sex toy company called Groove Thing that's going to be there.
It is music related, I promise.
It is music related. And then, obviously you can ride the carousel at any time. This year, it's going to end with a party by Tapalti right there on the pier, which is awesome. Shure has a claw machine. You get mics from the claw machine. There's a cartoon artist, a mariachi band. Who knows? There might be a stilt walker.
Oh my gosh. Wow. This is going to be the best day one yet of the conference.
It's going to be a blast.
All right. Let's talk day two. What happens then?
So day two, we move over to another venue that people absolutely love. It's the Annenberg Beach House, which normally is basically a pool where the community comes out to swim and hang out next to the beach. It has these great event spaces where you have wall-to-wall windows looking onto the ocean, which is super cool. And that's like the traditional conference in the sense that we have lots of panels. We have like 20 panels happening there. It culminates with a party, of course, but right before the party is our Swimming with Narwhals startup competition. It's the final event. There's 4 companies that are pitching there, and they pitch before judges. But throughout the day, like I said, we have 4 different rooms and spaces where we have everything from sessions on mergers and acquisitions in music tech to building your label tech stack, new frontiers like gaming and AI, things about metadata, things about new approaches to fan e-commerce, lots of investor-related content so that startups can come and learn from investors and get a chance to meet them, but even like a video making workshop where you can learn from our Chief Creative Officer, Adam McHeffey, how to make videos either for your brand or as a creator with that kind of music tech mindset. I mean, it's hard for me to list all of the sessions that are happening in this audio form. It would just sound like a laundry list, but there's really quite a bit of diversity diversity in the topics, but very focused on music tech and music innovation. One thing we're doing the first time this year is we have a panel called Artist-Led Startups, Music Tech and the Artist Perspective, because some of the artists are actually starting their own startups. Producers like Decap, artists like Alexandra Fiera, who created the Demon Box, which is a really interesting instrument that you can test out on the first day and then come hear her talk on the second day as well. I don't know. That's probably enough of the list, huh?
Yeah, you just have to check out the conference schedule yourself at musictectonics.com/schedule. One thing I did notice looking at it is that it really does locate at the intersection of so many things, right? There's labels meet tech, there's artists meet tech, there's startup content, there's new frontiers for monetizing music, for creating music experiences. It really does feel like there's something for everyone, even if you don't know that's your next step. It'll be there.
Yeah, I think we're working really hard because we really want everybody in the ecosystem to be part of what's coming next in music innovation. So you're right in terms of like, we've really tried to program around all those different roles in the industry to find something useful, but also different like verticals and the verticals that music touches upon. We're having a cultivating health and wellness in music. We have adapting IP for new experiences, where we have people coming in to talk about gaming and music and how you actually monetize music within gaming or other types of experiences and so forth. And yes, there's a lot on artificial intelligence, but it's not all on artificial intelligence. We never take over our entire conference with just whatever the current trend or hype is. It is happening. It's important to talk about. We're looking at it through the lenses of artists, through labels, through inventors, but it's not our sole focus.
And I love that there's a metadata panel basically every year. And you know what? It ends up being often really passionate. People who work in those nuts and bolts are really passionate about making the music industry work better. It ends up being one of my favorite panels, even though I don't work in music data.
Well, and interestingly, that one is focused on AI, which I think is really important to think about. Like, how is metadata changing with the use of AI? What can you use metadata for? Who owns the metadata? How does the metadata get into this music creation moment with AI, et cetera? We put that panel together with Xperi and TiVo, and I'm really excited to see like where that conversation goes, because I think there's a lot that still needs to be built in terms of infrastructure for how all the aspects of music are being used in the new AI era. We have another panel that we're doing with musical AI that is also focused on sort of like, how do we fairly address the issues of creativity with AI and so forth. So lots of good topics there.
So now that we've talked about the sessions, what should people know about the vibe and other activities there at the Beach House?
Yeah, so on our second day, that Wednesday, there's a lot of exhibitors there. Like on the first day, you'll see startups. On the second day, you'll see exhibitors from some of the bigger companies as well, and opportunity to sort of try things out. Sure, we'll set up another place where you can actually try out mics. We'll have a little podcast studio there. So if you want to come a little early that day, you might hop on the mic with me and be on this podcast. But the pool is just a great place to network. The pool is heated. So every year, a few more people jump in at the end of the day. Stuff.io is sponsoring our party at the end of the day as well. So like, you're inside going to panels, and then you're outside getting some fresh air, grabbing a sandwich or a snack or coffee. Those are all there. And there's talk that a mermaid might be showing up this year.
Wow. She'll fit right in with the narwhals.
Exactly.
All right, that's a lot of conference already, Dmitri. But wait, I hear there's more. Tell us about the third day.
So our third and final day of the programming is divided into two parts. It starts with a Yamaha Startup Day, of founders and funders. It's a day of programming. Some of the panels are focused on funders and some are focused on founders. Either way, startups are going to get a lot of information, hearing from other founders. I mean, interestingly, we work really hard to make sure there's investors and labels and some of the people that startups want to do deals with. But just this last week, I've been getting feedback from attendees from the past that say one of the things they really love to do is to learn from other startup founders. They like to kind of compare notes. They like to understand kind of like the entrepreneur's journey, et cetera. And so you'll get both of those things during the Yamaha Startup Day, which is co-curated with Yamaha's Innovation Fund. So that'll be super cool. And then for the startups that are listening, we go on in the afternoon to one more UMG Startup Boot Camp. That's Universal Music Group's innovation team has put together a few programs. there's an opportunity there for everybody that's a startup to kind of shout out what they're up to so Universal can hear what you're up to. A few startups will be pulled on stage to pitch directly, and they'll get feedback on stage from Universal Music team members as well. And we've always liked to have that third day, regardless of whether you're a startup going to that boot camp or you're hanging out at Expert Dojo, our third day venue, which is a neat rooftop venue with food and bars nearby, so that you can schedule more meetings. So if you've done everything you can to program to go to all the panels and everything, you still have one more day to have those meetings. So during the Wednesday, as you're meeting people and so forth, you can have a spot to go and connect and meet up with everybody.
Amazing. I can't wait to get back to Universal Music Group. It's so great that that part of the program is how we end the conference.
Yeah, it's great. Startups really get a lot out of it. We've actually seen a few startups end up with deals with a certain label as a result of the connections they made during that event. There's no promises, there's no guarantees, but it certainly is great to meet people in person and be able to have that real time back and forth rather than just pitching on Zooms or hoping that somebody's reading your emails.
Yeah, and every year we hear about more people who are making Music Tectonics part of their business's schedule, right? Whether it's that they're planning launches around the conference or, dedicating their budget early in the year because they know they can do business and make deals.
Yeah, it's a great point. A couple of years back, we had Mahan Zanuzzi do a keynote specifically on what the music industry could learn from gaming, how music needs to think about experiences in a way that's more up to date with how young people are experiencing all forms of entertainment and media. And he's coming back on the Yamaha Day to talk about the company that he's now started. He was the head of innovation at Spotify when he made that keynote, which I think kind of caught people by surprise. And then now he's a founder. He's left Spotify and he's a founder, and he's building something really interesting that's based on the same ideas he presented at our keynote. So it's going to be really one of those Music Tectonics full circle moments where people are going to be like, wait, I remember this guy. And then they're going to see, wait, he went and built something. Let's see what happens there. That'll be really fun.
Yeah, this is the 7th annual conference. And so we're beginning to see more and more of those first full circle moments. And I love that.
Yeah, me too. It's awesome.
All right, so let's talk a little more about who benefits the most from coming to Music Tectonics. We've talked about how there's something for everyone in music and tech. Let's talk about profiles. Who benefits most?
Yeah, I mean, I do think that startup founders, innovators, people who are on the teams of newer companies, including scale-ups too, some that have even become a little more further along, have so much to gain from being at this conference, whether it's potential partnerships and investors or learning from other founders, as I mentioned. It's all happening there. I think people really get a renewed sense of energy. They find their people when they're at Music Tectonics, which is awesome. However, we are always trying to program Tectonics so that that's not the only people that benefit. We have seen record label marketing folks, A&R folks, executives, decision makers, even folks from labels that invest in startups or partner with startups all get a lot of benefit. This is the place where they know that those music tech companies are going to be, and they can get so much done all in one place with learning about new tools, new ideas, new workflows, etc. I will say, any consultants, any attorneys, any advisors, any investors, all of them get quite a bit out of Music Tectonics too. I mean, if you're looking to have those conversations with innovators in music, the founders, you are going to have a blast. It's like shooting fish in a barrel. There's so many interesting, and they come from all over the world. That's the other thing. You might think if you live in a major city like LA or New York or San Francisco that you kind of get access to everybody. It's not true. There's a lot of people spread out around the country and around the world that come to Music Tectonics. It becomes the magnet for this group of people. So you get access early when you come to Music Tectonics. So there's something for all those players. Deal flow. I know that investors are showing up. We work hard to recruit them. There's going to be 20 or 30 investors, angels, VCs, family offices, institutional investors. They're all coming to be a part of this conference as well. And they like it because they get deal flow. They get access to a lot of really interesting ideas. Several of the winners of our startup competition in the past have gone on to raise millions of dollars and be super successful. They've launched their entrepreneur careers here as a result of the ecosystem being there. So there's something for everybody.
I can't wait.
So I don't know, Eleanor, we kind of covered a lot. What did I leave out? Did I leave anything out?
Well, you talked about networking and you talked about parties, but one thing I want to emphasize is how those things work together. That the beautiful venues, the sunsets, the ocean breezes, the casual vibes means that the networking is kind of like supercharged in a way, right? People are open to conversations and meeting and connecting. So you'll meet new people who will become your best friends. But then also, as you keep coming back to Music Tectonics, it'll feel like a reunion. You're going to see those people over and over again and share a drink by the beach. What could be nicer?
Just the other day, one of the people who have been to the conference has just remarked that you go to certain other music industry conferences and it feels like there's a bunch of sales sharks around. There's a lot of, which is so funny because I don't think of the music industry that way. Like I've gone to some other vertical specific industry conferences where I'm like, who are these people? It's so different from music. But the comment was, when you come to Music Tectonics, it feels like a family reunion. And even when you come for the first time, you feel like you're being welcomed into a family reunion. So that vibe, I think you're right. Maybe it's the beach, maybe it's the breeze, maybe it's the goofy carousel, maybe it's the crazy pants. I don't know. But people walk in feeling like their guard is down and they're ready to connect with people. And I love that aspect of it. That's the most satisfying thing. And I'm really excited to see everyone again, as well as to welcome newcomers in this year.
Yeah, I've heard from a couple people who identify as introverts that despite all of the sort of like wackiness, or maybe because of it, that it feels like a warm environment to connect, even if you don't feel like you're a networker. You don't feel like you're one of those people. You find your people.
I love it. It's going to be great. Eleanor, thank you for bringing me in to have this conversation. We haven't had a chance to really express everything that's happening, and it's all still coming together. Like we're probably still adding a little finishing touches on programming or catering or anything like that as people are listening to this. But if you can get to LA next week, this is your chance. I hope you can make it.
All right, let's get those details out again. It's November 4th through 6th in Santa Monica, California at 3 beautiful venues. And you can learn more at our website,
musictectonics.com. See you there, Eleanor.
See ya.
Thanks for listening to Music Tectonics. If you like what you hear, please subscribe on your favorite podcast app. We have new episodes for you every week. Did you know we do free monthly online events that you, our lovely podcast listeners, can join? Find out more at musictectonics.com. And while you're there, look for the latest about our annual conference and sign up for our newsletter to get updates. Everything we do explores the seismic shifts that shake up music and technology, the way the Earth's tectonic plates cause quakes and make mountains. Connect with Music Tectonics on Twitter, Instagram, and LinkedIn. That's my favorite platform. Connect with me, Dmitri Vitsa, if you can spell it. We'll be back again next week, if not sooner.
You're listening to Music Tectonics.